It's Black History Month, and we are not going to sit here and let a black leading actor get trashed the entire month. Especially since this man has literally been pretty much in the background since he took L's from a rapper named B Rabbit. You know who I'm talking about? I'm, of course, talking about Anthony Mackie, who is, of course, starring in Captain America Brave New World. Mind you, this is probably the second of the original titles. I'm going to say titles because obviously the mantle was handed over in the original titles of the Avengers to get a fourth movie. And I'm going to die on this hill. Brave New World was miles better than Love and Thunder. Not only was it miles better than Love and Thunder, but it was a good time in the sense that it was a good storyline. It had a very simple storyline in terms of, like, it's nothing too complex, it's nothing too unique. I also really appreciated the fact that there are multiple, and I wouldn't say plot holes, but plot points that have not been touched since literally the early days. And I mean, we're talking Incredible Hulk days of the MCU that finally got resolved in this movie. So once again, we have the idea that this is a connected universe that does have consequences over periods of time. But it was a great movie. I had a good time. In terms of what's come out since Endgame, it's going to be in my top 5. I'll have to get that ranking another time, but it was a good movie. In terms of Anthony Mackie, once again, doing great as Captain America, and then struggling with the idea that he is not a super soldier. But every time that man threw that shield, I felt every single impact. Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, he was a good time. He was funny. He was enjoyable. And you definitely felt the uniqueness in this next generation of heroes, right? Something that was kind of started with Peter, with Spider-Man and the home movies, but the idea of, like, hey, these kids grew up in a world where, you know, what would have been only attributed to comics is now real for them, and they're excited and they want to be a part of that and they want to jump on. Harrison Ford, that man clocked in to work. He don't need to work anymore. The man is 82, I believe. And yet he still came in and gave a Harrison Ford performance. He did great in struggling with the idea of being this character, this wartime general who actually wants to do better as president. And Lord knows that is a message America could use right now. A president who actually wants to be better. I did see some critiques about the action being too slow, which there were sometimes I did feel that. There were other times where I really enjoyed how the combat was being played out, especially in those moments where both Cap and Joaquin are actually in their suits and then really, you know, using the wings and the thrusters and then coordinating all the combat. So, like, no, like there are some moments, and let's be honest, like, every movie is not going to be a 10 out of 10. We haven't had that in a while. Like, even when we're talking about Infinity War and Endgame, those were largely built off the nostalgia of the first 10 years. The villain of the story had a simple revenge plot. Like, just, it's a revenge story, and stuff gets messed up. And that's okay. Like, there doesn't need to be I had childhood trauma because I watched my planet destroy itself because they couldn't find enough resources, and I suggested genocide, and so they didn't listen to me, so now I'm going to wipe out half the universe. Here's looking at you. The only main critique I would have at this point is just we're 3-4 movies away from Avengers Doomsday. And obviously, everything after Endgame has been pretty tumultuous in terms of what exactly is the storyline. So it will be interesting to see how they're going to try to tie this up for Doomsday and then Secret Wars. But, you know, I will say Marvel seems to be back on the rise. You know, between Deadpool, Wolverine, now Brave New World, Fantastic Four looks great, Thunderbolts looks great. Like, it looks like Marvel, and then we got Daredevil next month. Like, it looks like Marvel is finally finding their groove again, and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta hit the road bumps to continue forward. Captain America: Brave New World. Have you seen it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. I'm probably gonna go see it again. It was a good time. I know there's things I missed, and then I want to make sure that Anthony Mackie, who in the Black community we lovingly call him Nigga Bird, gets his money. But I am upcoming author. Thank you for getting caught up with me on my favorite media. God saying the same. We will get caught up later. Love y'all. Peace.